Yeah.
Daniel, hello. I think this is the instrument that we're going to show you soundpost setting on today. We need to just explain a little bit to this. This is what I'm calling homeless. And it's homeless, and Quentin, maybe you can help make me explain this to him. This is homeless because this violin just wasn't made right from the beginning. Isn't that true?
Right, yes.
And so what's wrong about that? First of all, you said something about the sound holes. They're like too short. They're like a little bit stubby. Isn't that right?
That's correct. And they're too far down so that the bridge no longer fits right between the notches and produces the correct string length.
And so in order to get the correct string length so people are comfortable switching from violin to violin because of all those tens of thousands of hours they put into playing them, what did you have to do?
So basically the bridge had to be cut and fitted in the wrong traditional place. We want 330 millimeters here to here, and to get that we have the bridge well north of the notches.
I'll just show you that again. And is there anything different about the neck particularly?
The neck is different from a modern neck in that it's, for a start, starting from the fingerboard is veneered and has a softwood packing centrally, and the neck itself is not pretty well parallel to the fingerboard, but splays out gently. This is the last kick of the Baroque shaped neck. This whole instrument is designed to be similar to those being made around 1780, 1800 sort of time.
And I was thinking this would be the perfect instrument for a colleague of mine who loves to play classical music, but doesn't have a lot of money. She doesn't make a lot of money being a rockabilly blues pop singer. This is a violin that she could use anywhere really, because it's kind of like a little bit androgynous. It's had a hard life. Let's just show you some of that. So at some point it got crushed, I would say.
Yeah.
Over here there's like multiple cracks in the back, pretty serious ones, that when we got it, it had sticky tape on some of them, right?
Yes, it did. Nothing like sticky tape.
In addition, when Quentin finally took the top off, he found enormous patches. Those qualify as enormous patches,
yes,
I think.
Definitely, yeah.
So there was an enormous breast patch,
yeah,
and an enormous patch in the corresponding place in the back. Yeah, so anyway, so we'll just quickly show you where it's at now, and then we're going to take it somewhere else, okay? Was that the kind of sample that you would like to hear for a soundpost setting?
Yes, basically almost too long, too comprehensive. I do like a nice, as well as a played piece, just a simple G major scale from one end to the other of the whole instrument.
Is G minor okay?
G minor is okay, yes. Of
All right, so I'll just play the first.
G minor.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start pushing the poster out. I find the sound on the top a little bit bright, and I'd like to feel like I could sink into the sound just a little bit more, so we're going to go looking for that.
Okay.
And so you're just going to have to twiddle your thumbs for a while, because we're going to step out of the frame. And,
well, shouldn't I wave this at him?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hi, this is a soundpost setter. Oops, sorry. It goes into the F-hole. It's got a sort of grabby bit at one end and a pointy bit at the other end, and with it I can manipulate the post, which is not glued, around inside the instrument.
Can it be nailed? Can it be nailed?
It can be nailed. I have once had to work with an instrument, a post that I just could not move, and I realized it had been nailed through the top.
That's extremely rare, because
it's
that's
really
that's the only nail in how many years? If you
that's right, and 40 years. And furthermore, it takes a great sense of place to run a nail clean through the top so that it penetrates the middle of the post.
And he was lucky because he didn't split the post, because he could have split
Yeah,
the post. I mean, that could have been a really bad day for him.
Yes.
Ah, the tea's here. Sorry you can't have any tea, Daniel.
I'll put it here actually.
Whoa.
As long as the goldenrod doesn't drip into it.
So why don't you can...
Oh, goldenrod and asters!
I know, but they're all dead.
Do you realize that that my neighbors sent the weed inspector on me?
No.
Yes, they did. And one of the things the weed inspector didn't want was asters. And I said, well, what's the name of this plant? And the Toronto weed inspector couldn't name a white aster. I am not making that up.
Oh, this one. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Of course, it's actually also kind of important at this time of year.
Of course.
It's that, you know, an important source of fuel for all those butterflies that are
Yeah.
flying south. Well, I'm sure the problem is just my drunken neighbor. I mean, the city must know that he calls, because he calls them regularly, but the moment somebody parks a quarter of an inch into his driveway space.
Yes. Yes.
But
But
so,
he's obviously very unhappy. I only picked him yesterday and down by the lake, and they don't like it in here. So, I mean, you know, they look lovely even though they're shut. Anyway.
Is poor Daniel going to be...
well, you know,
can you edit this stuff?
He can always fast forward.
Yeah.
And he's getting this script. He's getting
I'm sorry, my milk's gone bad, so this is cream.
Excellent. Better and better. Better and better.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think he wants to see him catch on the post about?
Oh, wow, sure. Let me just go get the camera. Sorry about this. I hope I don't make you a little bit car sick while we go around and look over Quentin's shoulder.
I'd recommend left-hand side.
Left-hand side right away.
Yeah. Okay. Looking inside the instrument, you see a soundpost. I hope.
You know what? I don't actually. Ah, yes, I do. You know
Good.
what? The problem is that I'm an old guy and I don't see that all that well. Yep.
Okay.
Soundpost is seen.
All right. A little behind the bridge and in basically average kind of position. I'm going to be trying to move it back a little to ease off some of the harshness. First, slacken the upper two strings.
So we don't gouge trails in the
Pick up
soft spruce of the top.
my trusty flashlight.
Now, soundposts are usually under a little bit of tension, right?
Yep.
Which is to say they're pushing the arched top and the arched back away from one another.
If it's that much tension, you're a bit over. It should be sort of snug, but we don't want them actually to front and back to be bulging out. The way I like to think of it is if we took the bridge off so there was no tension and we had the post in, it would stay up until I squeezed gently on the sides, whereupon it would fall down. That would be a right measure of tension.
Now, of course, this happens sometimes even when that's not the case, because, you know, it's cold and dry in Toronto in January and you go to Puerto Rico and somebody's post falls.
Yeah.
This happens. And then everybody's very sad because nobody knows what to do. with their
Nobody in
post.
Puerto Rico knows, no. But they have a cousin who might know, but is on holiday or something. Okay. Have a tiny stick there.
So the backstory of this violin, by the way, Daniel, is that it belonged to the aunt of a Toffle Music subscriber. And he had it in his closet for 20 years. And then he tried to sell it to a violin shop. And they told him that it would cost as much to fix as it would to that he could sell it for. And that's how the violin became homeless. Because nobody wanted it. So there's where this is. Let's give this a try, okay?
Yep. feel?
Oh, I think it's better on top. A little bit of that sharpness
Could you,
is gone.
yeah, could you bend your knees, Tom? Your head is being neatly cut off.
That's my least vulnerable spot.
Oh, there we go, that's it. Step in the right direction.
Yeah, but the bottom, what do you think of the bottom?
It wasn't really focusing.
I'm much happier with all of that. It's fine.
Bit softer.
It is, yeah. Maybe we could a little more bass still, do you think?
Well, okay, this is trouble is this is a good educational moment for you, Daniel, because generally there's always spin-offs. So we now have
trade-offs.
Trade-offs. We
Have come to
we
the
have
trade-off.
got what we wanted, or close to what we wanted on the A and E, and we are now losing some of the nice stuff on the G and D.
And just so you know, Daniel, I'm actually using this instrument in orchestra at the moment because I sent the one that I prefer to play home with a student. I exchanged loan agreement letters with her, and she's under the... I hope she understands thoroughly that this violin is coming back.
Well, that nice girl from the States.
Yep. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
one. Doesn't matter whether they're nice or not. People get attached to instruments and they don't want to let go.
Yeah.
Bill
but-
Monacle was the guy that explained to me that I had to go through this process.
Well, the paper stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure you're right.
No, he was absolutely right. I had a couple of occasions where people did not want to give it back. That's why the first item is the instrument remains the property of me and can be requested at any time. That's the first one. It actually says me or my estate. So let's just see here. Yes, actually, we're going to stop here.
Yeah,
at least for the
that'd be
time
right.
being, because
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be absolutely 100% perfect in all respects.
No.
It just has to convince Raha that, in fact, it might be a nice violin for her after all, even though the first time she picked it up, she felt like it was going to blister the paint. So, Daniel, I think that's as far as we need to go today. And I hope this helps. And yeah, and I hope to see you again soon. That would be nice.